Call the meeting to order. October 26th. First on the agenda is to approve the September 28th minutes. And I need to add to that and the 30th also, but that'll be next.
I have a thought on the ones for the 28th.
Okay.
Number 4, the state notified us regarding application for a well for the new town garage building. Can we include what they were telling us? I mean, what happened?
Well, I'm going to bring that up tonight.
Okay.
I
I can't tell from this what actually happened.
Well, it's just an application that they received the application.
Okay, the state noticed that they received their application.
Right.
Okay. So could you have that put in there, the state notified us that they received the application?
Right.
So you see the application. Okay.
Are there any other corrections?
I make a motion we accept the Monday, the 28th September minutes.
Do we have a second?
As amended, yes.
As amended.
What was the amendment?
Put in another word.
We changed the words to say that the state notified us that they received the application. So they told us what
That
they
probably
Instead
didn't
of
say that.
regarding the application. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go along with that.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, next on the agenda is to approve the minutes of the September 30th special select board meeting.
And I have a thought on that.
Okie dokie.
I do understand that we've been instructed or advised by our attorney regarding the phrasing, but I don't believe he meant to exclude grammar. To the extent that,
I'm sorry, where are you?
I'm on the motion made by Judy Flower to find that the premature general knowledge would place the municipality. We can fuzz with the grammar a little bit because clearly legalese and grammar don't always sleep in the same bed. But premature general knowledge of what? I don't think general knowledge in general is dangerous.
What one are you at?
I'm at the first paragraph.
First paragraph?
Yeah, where it says motion made by, you know, the ones?
Yeah. Place the municipality, I don't see.
That's
Okay.
exactly what he told
Signs
us.
that
Right here.
general public knowledge to place the municipality.
First paragraph.
Yeah, we're.
Motion made by Judy Flower to find that premature general knowledge would place the municipality at a
Oh,
substantial.
I don't have that.
If the matters are discussed in public.
Wait a minute.
That's
Yeah.
what our attorney
Finds that
Billy said
general
that.
public knowledge will place the municipality as a substantial disadvantage.
And I would like to suggest that we can't just say general public knowledge would place the municipality at a substantial disadvantage.
Okay, well,
Knowledge of what? Of a particular.
Yeah, and I think you're right. The active lawsuit is what.
We need to
this
say,
is that-
we just can't say
Board finds
general
that-
knowledge is gonna put
Okay.
us.
General public knowledge
okay,
of
this could
the
be a
active lawsuit.
3-hour discussion.
Yeah.
Let me get back to Paul Gillies with the exact wording.
He
Okay.
told us that we have to put that in front of every single motion we talk about.
I'm pretty
When it
confident.
goes into executive session. But let me get in touch with him and I'll get the exact phrasing from him.
Okay.
I see what
Okay?
you're getting at, though.
I mean, some of.
I thought he meant in these meetings too.
No, that's just to go into executive
Oh,
Just to
session.
get an
That's
executive
just to
session.
get into executive session.
Okay.
Yeah. So this, and that also applies to the last paragraph too.
Right, I will get in touch with
Well,
him.
Oh, I
what can I-
remember that.
Second to the last paragraph.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did, he
And
was very
that's the
stressing
word,
that
that's the
clearly.
wording he used, but
That's
I will get
exactly-
back to him.
I grant you that, and I think he was talking in general. I don't think we should adopt the general phrase without qualifying it to the specific
Well, it's
topic.
not that we're gonna adopt it, it's something we have to do.
Yeah.
And we did not
that's
know
right.
that we weren't supposed to do it.
He-
Let's, I understand
So-
this is new, and I do agree.
It's all new to us, so let me
So
get
let's-
back to him.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
so should we put this in abeyance?
Yes, please, I would motion that we put these minutes, table them until further review by the attorney.
Sure.
Okay? And of course, I have every confidence that we'll talk to him and get this done while I'm gone.
Maybe, maybe not.
And they'll slide right past.
So we're done talking about these minutes?
Yes.
Were we gonna read all of this at this meeting, or just correct it?
No, we just corrected
Okay.
if there's any corrections. Okay, number 2 is to approve the timesheets for the town office, Lister's Highway Transfer Station. Number 3 is the select board review the orders and sign them. Next is public concerns, and I'm gonna have David go next.
Okay. The reason I came tonight is our village center designation from the state is expiring. We have to have an application in by the 1st of January, which the planning commission is working on that with Richard Amori of the state. But we need support from our select board to continue. We have to show in our application for renewal that the minutes of the meeting in which the select board will support that renewal of village center designation.
Okay, do you have that with you today? Or you have a new village designation, or you're just updating the old one?
It's renewing the ones that's
Just
in place right
renewing
now.
the
Yeah,
other one, okay.
So you're asking for the select board support now?
yes. Because if we don't get your support, we can't apply for renewal of our village center designation. Therefore, the town of Jamaica would no longer be able to participate in the benefits
Of what, okay.
of what that
Were
village
there any
center.
changes for this, or it's just any changes in your village renewal?
No,
Okay, none.
no, no.
Okay, then I think we can act on that today, if there's no changes.
Yeah, I'm just curious what the benefits are.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I just.
I will point That's why we held a meeting back in the spring
Yeah.
for the community.
Before David gets into the specifics, we did, that was a help on our application with the sidewalk grant.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that was
It
our,
helps for grants.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we did this when it first went in. Oliver was instrumental.
Yes.
in this.
Oliver was very instrumental in,
Very good.
in fact, as I recall, it helped get the grants for the town hall as well.
well, yeah, there's a lot of, it's all about state support for business development, for historical preservation, for, it just makes money available to your community.
Is there a dues process that the town contributes to this program?
Not that I'm aware of,
No.
no. This is just a
Yeah.
legislative, it's in the legislature has, apportioned money, appropriated money for villages. I mean, that's what Vermont's about, is supporting their villages.
Okay.
And so, yeah, it's part of all of our tax dollars in that kind of big round hole that's up there in Montpelier, but it does make money available. And from what I understand from the meeting we had Richard Morey, who heads the program, come down and present all the benefits of it. And there's a lot of money available.
Yeah.
And even, you can use some of these tax credits and take them to a bank and get a loan based on it.
So in essence, it puts us into a pool.
Yeah, when you apply for certain grants,
Yeah.
Right.
because you're applying from a town that has a village center designation, you're given priority, you're bumped up the list for some of these are competitive grants. Some of them are tax credits. There's different, and I'm sorry,
No, that's
got it in here somewhere.
No,
But
you're-
essentially, those are some of the key elements.
Yeah.
It helps, it supports with historic tax credits. It's my understanding, Richard Morey from the state told me that Joel used some historic tax credits in, the revitalization of the post office.
Oh,
So there's money that's available to people, to the community, to help revitalize the village. Maybe if someone wanted to buy Skippy's building, which was a firehouse, I'm sure there's historic credits all over that place. So they, It's not just free money, but it certainly helps development in your community.
Okay, good, gotcha. I that was good information.
There had been talk at one time to increase the parameters
Correct.
of it. Is that happening, or is it
No,
pretty much the
what's going to
same?
happen in that realm is because at this point, time and point, pretty much the economic center of Jamaica is in Rawsonville. It's not in the village. Just by the nature of the number of businesses that are operating in that hamlet as compared to the ones that are operating. I mean, this is the cultural center, the heart of Jamaica. But if you just look at it from an economic development point, Rawsonville is where it's happening. So that came up in a discussion about, well, can we expand the village center designation to include Rawsonville, or maybe even expand it out to include Water Street all the way to the school. That is a possibility, but that has to be done in the town planning process. Our town plan will be up for renewal in November of 2017. So I've already talked to the Wyndham Regional Commission. We'll be applying for a municipal planning grant next year to get the money, just like you did. The process that you were finishing up as a planning commission member when I started. We'll be applying for a municipal planning grant. We'll get new data. We'll be redoing our town plan.
Are your chances pretty good?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
to get it
I would
right.
think so. I mean,
Okay.
John Bennett seems to think there shouldn't be a big problem.
Good, because there was one time that we had gotten a huge grant. Oh, gosh, maybe $15,000 or something like that. And then we tried to get more as we kept trying to get the town plan again, and we didn't get any, so that's why I'm questioning whether, but because we haven't had money in a while, we should be on the list for getting
Yeah, I mean,
that grant.
I really have not much knowledge of that process yet because we haven't started. We've only just had a general conversation. Both Richard Amori of the state, who handles this village center program, and John Bennett from the Wyndham Regional Commission are like, if we're going to try to juggle boundaries, the proper way to do that is through your planning process. And so since we have a plan that's coming up for renewal in less than 2 years, we'll be working on seeing if there's any changes we want to make to our town plan. So we could submit it in time for it to be approved and go through that whole process by November 23rd of 2017. So we'll start that process in the summer of next year. But that's kind of tangential to our village center designation discussion tonight. We're not going to make any changes, not proposing any changes to the boundaries that are in the town plan. We believe as a planning commission it's beneficial to our community to have that resources available to us. And we have support from the state. It's not going to be, we're not looking at some long drawn out process for renewal.
We need to make a
We need a
motion.
motion.
I'd make a motion that we support the plan as described.
I second.
Any further discussion?
I don't know if there's a specific wording that you would, to that motion. Does that motion
What was your
sound like
motion?
it's
What was your
correct, or-
motion?
Well, I guess as long as it says somewhere in the minutes that the select board is supporting our renewal
Let me rephrase.
application or
Let me redo
seeking to renew our village center
the
designation.
motion, and I'll say that I move that the select board support the
Application.
renewal of the application, or
Well,
application
renewal
for
of the village center designation.
renewal of the village center designation.
Like
Can I
that.
read
Supports
what-
supports our application for renewal of the village center designation. Is that?
What did you
Yes.
write, Ed?
Mr. Mink spoke of the fact that the village center designation is about to expire. The select board needs to support the application for renewal. A motion was made to this effect by Mr. Fraser.
That
That
sounds
works.
good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got
Okay.
all the right words in there.
We had a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we certainly will
Thank you.
support all your work, your hard work that you do. And I will keep in touch with you on
Yeah,
LT10, what's going on, and then if you can get in touch with Tim.
I will, yeah, I'll
and-
send Tim an email,
Yeah. And see
probably
what's
tomorrow.
convenient for him.
And see what works for him. If he can be here on the 9th, we'll do it for the 9th.
Sure.
If not, then
And if not, then the next time.
the next one after
Yeah.
that, so.
So, yeah, because this isn't a matter of urgency right now, I think we should be okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a pressing thing, but something we'll get it done. Sorry to abandon you all.
I don't blame you.
Going back to our little campfire in the backyard.
Oh, nice.
So-
It's a nice night for it, probably the last one.
And thanks for your support.
You're very welcome. Thank you for all your help.
Yeah, thanks for the
You are.
efforts and energy put
You're
into it.
doing a good job.
Well, thanks. Thanks.
Thank you.
I need to get a hold of you for my other project. too.
Oh, okay.
So you're in the phone book?
Yeah.
You're in the phone book?
Yeah,
All right, I'll give you a call.
okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
See you.
Okay, I would like to go back to, I know we tabled the minutes, but
The who minutes? Which
the,
one?
the minutes of the 30th, but I would like to go back,
Okay.
if it's all right with everybody.
We need to make a motion to take them off the table then, technically. The table minutes for this,
Oh,
that
really?
we table?
Oh, well, no, it's, we're not gonna do anything with it right now.
Okay.
I'm not gonna, I just want to explain something. That day that we had the meeting, Paul Gillis told us what to
Mhm.
write, okay? So then I emailed him because it was a little bit fuzzy on his wording and stuff like that. So he, I told him it was, it was confusing to us a little bit, or just, we want to get it right. So he did email me back, and he says, step one is a motion that the board finds that general public knowledge will place the municipality or person involved at a substantial disadvantage if the matters are discussed in public. I'm sorry, if the matter, forgot those 3 words. That applies to sessions where you're going to discuss contracts, legal actions, labor relation agreements, not just personnel matters specifically.
Oh,
So those are the words that he told me to put in there,
I
and
remember that clearly, actually. Because it didn't make sense to me.
so,
Well, and I understand, and I understand somebody saying, here's what you need to put into it, but I think there's inherent in his instruction that we make it an English sentence and give it a subject and object, and explain what it is we're trying to do, and that would be general public knowledge regarding a particular topic for which we're going into executive session, not just general knowledge will place the municipality. I'm just asking us to insert some specificity into, he gave us a general statement. And what I'm saying is we need to insert the specificity as needed as we approach particular topics. That's all. I'm not disagreeing with
all right,
the
so
phrasing.
at the end, we can put for the purpose that we're gonna put it in. We could add in for,
If it's just like knowledge of a particular item, just local character.
but is
I've
there,
lost you now.
is that worded that way for the legality of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
is that to protect the people that are involved in this? I'm not even gonna say it because we're not talking about it.
Right.
That may be why
I mean, that
it's
thing we're
worded
not
that
talking
way.
about? I think if you query Paul, he's gonna say, yeah, just make it specific for the particular, because sometimes it's personnel issues, sometimes it's real estate issues, sometimes it's I don't know, pick an area.
All right, well,
And we need to be a little more specific.
let me go back.
Okay. I think you will
I
find.
heard him say that 3 times.
It's my understanding that the reason why that is in there is that going into executive session, the public is not able to hear what we're talking about. And that puts them in a substantial disadvantage concerning the matter that we're discussing. And so that's why as I remember, that's why he said we had to have that in there. And it's because executive sessions are closed.
I think we agree on that.
Okay,
I only disagreement, and I hate to say it a 4th time, We
No.
need to be more specific within this sentence.
Oh, but I will get back to him.
That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, number 5, we have a wastewater permit from the state of Vermont for the town highway garage. And that
So-
was,
So it was approved?
Is this for the newly designed septic?
no, wait a minute, let me see, hold on a second. It's just the permit right now. Did you send them the map and everything?
I didn't send it to the, I sent it to the,
State?
not a wastewater permit, I was applying for I was sending them a
Well,
map
you did
for
yours for
the
the
flood zone.
flood zone. This is from the state of Vermont. This is that our engineer sent to
Oh,
the
yeah,
state.
the
and that's-
engineer does
And that's
that.
been approved,
Right.
the wastewater and
Oh,
potable
that's
water
nice.
supply permit. That's been approved by the state.
That went by fast, because it usually
So,
takes a minimum of 40 days.
And I'm just gonna
So-
give you a little bit of,
So what they're saying then is that plans
that plan is fine.
is gonna be fine. That's it.
That's gonna be fine.
We've done that before. It's-
Yes, it's well spoken and well reversed in this stuff.
So now we're just waiting on
Oh,
flood
reversed.
zoning permit, so we can get that.
Well, actually,
Did you
what's
do
gonna
it?
happen is they're not gonna give us, they're not applying for a permit at this time.
Okay,
Because you can't apply for the permit until you know what the building is gonna look like. We're not ready for the permit. But it's always good to talk and find out what you're gonna need because of the situation. So what I've done is I've submitted the plans to the state flood zone administrator. He's gonna look them over and tell us what our construction design will need to include to be worth, to be successful.
So let me clarify, then this is coming from the state of Vermont flood zone?
no,
Not this
no,
one, no.
this is not flood
This
zone,
is-
a whole
She's
different
just
thing.
letting you know that we started the flood zone application.
We started the
That's a separate,
process.
not this one?
That's
Not this
separate.
one.
Okay.
So we're not actually ready for the permit yet.
Gotcha.
Right.
We're in the discussions.
And,
Now, you're the new administrator, aren't you?
Our
Flood
Jamaica
zone.
flood zone
Okay.
administrator.
right, Lou and I and Keith had gone up to Winhall, looked at their town garage, and David Cotton from Newfane, who's designed that one. He's been in touch with us through me, saying that he would be happy to come and show the plans of that one, and if we want to use him, we can, we'd have to vote on it and everything. I'd like to invite him for our next meeting, because he's got all those plans available, and then we can go up again to Winhall, and I want Keith here too, so that if there's anything that he thinks he wants something different, it can be changed, but that'll be down the road. So if David Cotton could come, we'll ask him to come next Monday to present his plan for us. It'll save us some money on that end of it. And then we'll proceed each step after that. So I just want to make sure that we're doing it right.
Well, yeah, and I think the idea of getting these things ahead of time
Right,
makes a good plan.
because we'll have to have a hearing
Yeah.
and a site visit. The public should have a site visit to the town garage. Nobody would work there. It's really not a good environment of a garage.
Speaks to the
Somebody-
quality of our crew.
So
Continue to
this
do
is
such
it's not
things.
something we're doing just because we want a new garage. It's something that's very
Let's do it.
important, and we should do it now, start looking into it, not waiting 10 years down the road, and make it a more desirable place for our road crew. Our road crew is very good, all three of them. We have a good working relationship with them. They don't take advantage of winter storms. Overtime last year was minimal. So I think the town deserves to have a new town garage for their workers. You wouldn't even let a dog sleep in there at night. So I want a site visit for the people. So that's all I have on that part right now. So I'll keep everybody informed as how we're proceeding with that. And number 6, we received a letter from Mr. Bill Brice. He lives up on, off of, he lives on Old Cheney Road. And apparently I don't think there's a house there yet. But he would like the town this winter to start plowing past his house.
Haven't they plowed in the past and it gone out as a separate contract?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was saying, I thought that's, they're not the.
Right, we pay
We
for
still-
We
it.
pay for it,
We
but
still
but they're
pay
the
for
ones
it.
who actually do the plowing up there, right? Under contract.
Right, we had somebody contracted
Yeah,
to do
It's just that
that.
little piece.
yeah.
It's a small piece.
Is it down to the bridge or over the bridge or?
Well, here's what he's got here, where we plow, where they currently plow to, and the turnaround spot.
So he is in essence asking us to plow versus the people who have been doing it?
No, he wants it plowed, he doesn't care who plows it.
Oh, okay.
He thinks the town of Wyndham plows it, but they don't plow it, it's a separate contract, we had hired somebody to plow it.
Oh, I thought we had a contract with the town of Wyndham.
No.
No,
It was a
that's
That road is a pickup truck, I think, or something
Right.
like that, that plows that
Yeah.
Old
Right.
Cheney Road.
We had,
contract?
Yeah, yeah.
And then he does the other end of it.
I think Wyndham comes this way, we come that way, but we don't meet. There's
right,
a
there's
gap in between that doesn't get done.
That's where this fellow
Oh, I didn't know.
lives.
And that's where
True.
he's asking?
No, and that's what
I
he wants.
think he wants us to go farther than where we used to go.
He wants to go past his
Because
house.
he's got a new house, he's got a new facility.
I got you. So he wants our contractor to complete the run.
So he just wants it plowed, so it is our road.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
we're
makes
going to
sense.
have to, so we'll get in touch with him. and-
About how much land is there, a road
Can't
distance?
tell.
I don't know.
You know,
Keith would have to tell us that.
There's no scale.
I don't think it's very much.
I don't know, that wasn't plowed through.
I thought they meant, yeah, I thought when the two,
What's his name did it, and then he
Well, there is
saw
a
it
gap
out.
of a,
Woodruff
maybe
Road,
half a
yeah.
mile or
Two people can't even do it.
you know, nobody
Just
does
had
Somebody
somebody
else
out
can
there
do it.
both ends, I think.
Oh,
I
But
don't know if
even
it was with
so.
his truck or.
okay.
There's
You
no.
Well, anyway, we can ask
You
Keith
can't
tomorrow
see your neighbor.
and tell him that,
sure.
well, he doesn't plow, they don't plow.
Except for
It's just-
snowshoes.
No, but he can talk to the
It's
contractor.
very minimal.
Yeah.
We're having
It's
problems.
just, I see the point.
with our
What he needs to do is find out if there's a
people
turnaround up here
all
someplace.
these no
Right.
trespassing.
You may have to turn around here for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, or whatever that turns
Be
into.
careful.
Yeah, we'll have to look into that further, but this is
Yeah,
what this gentleman.
that's a reasonable request, we should just
Touches
put
property periodically
specifics.
to hit that little red camera.
Let's see, we have a contract here
Guess what?
with Dead River for our fuel supply. We have changed from Coda and Coda for our fuel, heating fuel that is. And they need a signature. We've already approved going on it, but I just want to let you know that this is here and we'll sign it and send it back to them and keep a copy.
We had, this has been going on for some time. We have a contract through Wyndham, what's the school?
Wyndham Central, no, that's the school. Wyndham Regional.
No, this is through the school supervisory
It
unit.
is through the supervisory, okay, Wyndham
The
Central.
Wyndham supervisory unit had a package
Right.
deal, and we joined them in the package deal, and that was to go through Cold River for substantial savings. And so this is just the
Right,
final.
and I think we've talked about that before, this is
No,
just
I remember
their,
talking about it, I must not have been here at that meeting.
it's their application for
Yeah, it's
us.
just the pieces, the final pieces.
That's
Oh,
all
one of
it
the
is.
things that perhaps delayed a little bit, we wanted to make sure that Coda and Coda would give us credit towards
So
our
that's
diesel.
already been taken care
And
of.
that's been taken care of, so
Yep.
that was the last thing that we did, so that's good to go.
That's fine. Lou, do you have anything?
I just wanted to discuss a little bit about the budget process that the Wyndham Solid Waste District is going through. Judy and I have had a little bit of a discussion on this already. The district is preparing two budgets right now. One budget is to continuing the recycling operations that we currently do. The second budget is discontinuing recycling options and requiring that the transfer station towns like Jamaica pay for their own recycling options. And the option, or the budget without the option, without the recycling option will be either anywhere from 50 to 40% less than what it is now. We pay about $14,000 a year for our assessment right now. So if we were to go to a no recycling option, then our budget for the district would go down probably about $5,000 to $6,000. Then the question is, for transfer station towns, the question is what would it cost us in order to then fulfill those services? So I asked Judy to check that out with our contractors. So I'll turn it over to her, and then I'll get back to what that means from the district's perspective.
I've done some homework, and after you called me, I had to wait because I called down to Wyndham Solid Waste, and I was able to talk with, let's see,
Give an extra one here.
yeah, talk to Kristen. Bob was at a conference, and she said to me that she would be sending a letter to me and to all of the members, which is this letter here, of the Wyndham Solid Waste District, and in it, what we were to do, because of the double budget preparation, that what we had to, as a select board, come to some conclusion about what direction we would like to go in. And with what Lou just said, either they will continue, Wyndham Solid will continue on with the recycling, or that's in one budget, or they would not continue on with, and we would have to get our own people to do our recycling. And evidently, we are going to, all of these towns that are listed here, you can see on the letter how many there are. I guess they're going to be asking all of the different towns what is their desire. So with that in mind, and they also gave me a whole list of questions to ask a hauler to find out exactly how much it will cost. And so these are the things that I asked about. And I talked to Peter at Triple T, who we have been dealing with. He actually comes and picks up our compactor and also the deconstruction stuff. So he knows us, and he would be probably the one that we would go with if we did choose to go that route. So these are the things. What would it cost for our recyclables, the hauling fee, the roll-off container rental, tipping fee, and any other charges such as for contamination and fuel charges. So those were the questions that I asked. And this is what I got. Actually, I had to do it today because I got this at 9 o'clock this morning, so I had to do some hustling. And I tried to write it out so you could have a comparison. If we go with doing it ourselves, it would be single stream. That means both the cardboard and the cans and plastics and papers would all be put together. And the cost for the single stream, they would supply 30 cubic containers for us to use. And with the recycling and trucking, the cost, I can actually give you the very direct number using the amount of haulage and tonnage that we had over the last year, would be $9,675. So Terry and I kind of rounded it off to make numbers a little bit easier, all right?
Can I ask what the number of tons that we?
Yes, and we got that from Wyndham Solid. It was 108 tons,
For-
and they made 42 hauls. So using that information at $50 a ton and $142.50 to haul, and looking at what that would cost, putting those two together would be $9,675 for Triple T to do it for a whole year, with the numbers that Wyndham Solid Waste has on our amounts,
So this,
just
this
recycling.
108 tons is for the calendar, for the last calendar year?
Yes,
Okay.
7/1, let's see, I've got the numbers here, 7/1/14 to 6/30/2015.
Okay, so
Okay.
this predates
Yes,
the new baggy thing?
correct,
Okay,
and
think
so
about
there,
that.
yes, I know that's in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Okay, the compactor, as you can see, for trash and trucking, if you look at our numbers in the town budget book, it would be for picking, for the trash, it would be $40,600 for the amount of tonnage, and trucking would be $14,680. We calculated that with 30 pickups, which is what Peter thought we would be doing with a 30 cubic container, we would be picking it up 30 times a year, which would, according to what he's telling me, the amount of tonnage, which will probably go down anyway, and he calculated in that, so that our decrease would be from the 40,000, what is that, about 55, 56 something, if you add those two numbers together, 40,600 and 14,680, it would come down considerably from that number. And that would be the compactor, which is very true. Our compactor, I talked to Mark today, the one that is currently filling up, it will be 1 month old in the compact.
Well, are we talking about in this, when you have single straight 30 cubic feet,
Right,
this is recycling and trucking, this is the recycling stuff, not the trash stuff.
correct. The next line is the compactor, that's garbage.
That's garbage, gotcha.
Gotcha, okay? And then our assessment is the 7,500, because as Lou already said, we would probably go half, 50% or 40%. So we kind of took a wild guess at making it $7,500. So that's if we go single stream using 30 cubic containers, and our total cost out of those three. Now remember, we've got all of these other things, attendant, subattendant, septic system, maintenance and repair, telephone, supplies, electricity, etc. So this is just one section. Those other numbers are pretty well stable that I just read off, okay? Now, if we stay with dual stream, which is what we're in now, actually, I called down and said, okay, what are the size of our containers? And because Peter said he thought ours was 20, and I did not think that those containers were 20 cubics. And I found out that...
Currently?
Huh?
Currently?
Yeah. That they're actually 40. And so what we are getting it under, we don't pay anything for the tonnage, and we don't pay anything for trucking. When Wyndham Solid, that comes out of our $14,680, okay? So there's no cost to that. We still have, and they claim that we had 188 tons and 42 hauls. Now, the difference, and that's hard to calculate, if we have 40 cubic, and Peter's saying we only have 30 cubic, we've got to figure out what the difference is, and I'm not sure we can actually figure that out as it stands now. And then the Wyndham Solid Waste Assessment is the $14,680. So that cost will be $34,680 if we stay with, we make our choice with the dual stream. Now, there are a couple of caveats here. One is that, according to what I've been told down at Wyndham Solid, is that New Hampshire, there are several communities within New Hampshire that can do single stream, really are having some of their double stream. They want to continue with double stream, and they're asking our Wyndham Solid Waste if we will take their double streaming recyclables, and I gather they've started to do that, correct?
They've started,
Okay.
they've had some test levels, yeah.
Yeah, and it sounds like if it's going, that it might go into where a contract will be written, and according to what I was told, that it's possible that we, Wyndham Solid, will get $100,000 amount to add into our budget if we take New Hampshire's double streaming, which will help our assessment to even lower it more if we continue with the double stream. So, looking at those kinds of questions, let me see. One of the things that I did hear is that there's no fuel service charge from Triple T, and there is, and for contamination. One of my major concerns has been contamination. It's been estimated that contamination is generally in single stream 35%. That means people throwing other stuff in that should not be thrown in. And yet, we're lucky because we do have an attendant who watches pretty carefully what goes in, so our contamination level will be fairly low. The question is are we going to be paying for other people's contamination? I don't know the answer to that. Also, the single stream will be going up to Rutland, and I've heard some things about Rutland, again, with the contamination piece, but according to Peter at Triple T, he's pretty satisfied with the use of Rutland as the receiver. And he did happen to say that the smaller towns with Wyndham Solid Waste actually has a benefit than the larger towns with the dual streaming. And so my hunch is that the larger cities like Brattleboro are really pushing for single stream, where for us it would be dual stream that would be more beneficial to us. So I know that this can be confusing. However, when you look at the prospect of an increase in that $100,000 if they continue, Wyndham Solid continues with the dual stream contract coming through, and the fact that we're right now with a 40 cubic and will be reduced to a 30 cubic, what will that mean? I don't know, in terms of increase in amounts of pickups. The tonnage will probably, would that go up because I would think recycling tonnage is
Hopefully,
going
and
up.
that's
Yeah.
typically the,
Right.
people have seen with single stream, it's much easier and therefore they tend to recycle more.
So here's a question then. We've talked about this in the past, and you referenced this just a minute ago.
Right.
But as we sit right now, the garbage load has diminished dramatically.
Tremendously,
Has there been an increase in the recyclables commensurate with that?
yes.
Is it about the same?
You mean the
Yeah.
amount of decrease versus the amount increase? I don't know how to even figure that one
Well,
out.
how about just
because
the
I
number
think-
of trips?
I don't think it has. I think part of the reason we've got a huge decrease is because a lot of people, like caretakers, for example, and others, are not bringing their trash to us anymore because it's no longer free.
So
Oh.
they have their own
But there's some of that as well.
Because I was wondering
I think
if
we've
it-
seen an increase in recycling, but not a
Yeah,
huge increase.
tremendous.
But we haven't seen it fill up as fast as we're seeing. The rate at which it recycles fills, has not gone up at the same rate at which the garbage has decreased.
Absolutely, that's correct.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
How
I
do,
looked
how
at
do you know that?
that, because I've looked at some of the tonnage reports that we've, what you
The
described
recent one?
last couple of months, yeah.
Okay, because
Our tonnages have gone up, but not to anywhere near the extreme.
okay, because
Our
I
trash has gone down.
didn't have that number to look up. However, when you really compare these two numbers, 37.5 versus 34.68, to me, it's so close that the question is, do you want to change and go to the single stream, or do you want to stay with the double stream as we had already chosen?
Well, I think that's a great question. I think into that question, if you factor that the dual stream as we're doing it now, the recycling and trucking has increased marginally over time. So if that's the one that's gonna increase, that's free under these figures.
Let me bring a few things.
That's correct.
Let me bring a few additional things to light. Right now, we've been able to keep the assessments relatively stable over the last few years because in 3 or 4 years past, we've had surpluses. And last year, we actually put $50,000 of our post-care closure excess to subsidize the budget. In the previous years, we had $125,000 of over profits from 3 or 4 years ago. So the point is that this year we have not subsidized that budget, the current fiscal year we're working with. Last year we lost $104,000 because of the market going way down. We can't absorb that kind of loss this year. That's the reason we're considering this option. Because right now, if we have a $100,000 loss, that's going to have to come back to the district. We don't have any surplus funds to cover that.
Except if you get that $100,000.
Possibly, but that's still being evaluated because we've only had test loads up to now.
So,
But my point is that we've been incurring huge losses for the last 3 years.
now those losses are in just the garbage end of it or in garbage and recycling?
No, we don't deal with the garbage end. We only deal with the
The
recycling.
recycling end of it, so there's no garbage involved in that figure.
Correct.
So the garbage thing is the one that's going down, it's the recycling one that's going up slightly.
Correct.
And why is there a difference between the two, the single stream and the dual stream for assessment?
Because with a single stream, the district would get out of the recycling business.
Right.
Therefore, that would disappear from our budget. And our budget for that operation is somewhere in the $400,000 or $500,000 range. So that would go out of our budget, as well as the people who do that recycling would no longer be in our budget. And the net of that would be a decrease in our assessment of around, you can see here, to our town would be about a $7,000 decrease in our assessment.
Right.
Because we'd be out of that business. Would mean the towns that have transfer stations would be required to do that service.
Right.
One of the issues we're having at the district is some towns, like Brattleboro, do curbside pickup. They don't, we have this recycling pickup program, transportation program, which services the district somewhat unproportionately, because there are some towns who are very close to the district, like Putney. It only takes half an hour to get up and back, up to Putney, where it takes an hour to get out to Jamaica. It takes an hour and a half to get to Dover. So what's happening is a lot of these towns that are close that do their own recycling, like Brattleboro, are subsidizing, or at least they have this perception that they're subsidizing the operation of the outlying towns. And there's also some concern that a population-based assessment, which is what this is, unfairly impacts these towns because of towns like Winhall and Jamaica and Dover, who have high second homes.
That's right.
And so there's this concern that it's an unfair subsidy. So they're pushing for this option of no MRF, it's called no MRF in trucking. They're pushing for that option. And if you recall, I don't know how many of you were involved in this, but about 5 or 6 years ago, I remember going to town meeting, I wasn't on the board at the time, where Oliver was talking about actually leaving the district because of this push to make it more equitable based on the amount of people who are using the facilities versus the amount of people who were in your towns. So this push has been going on for a number of years. So there's a lot of little intermingling pieces that are going in here beyond just the...
It's not a simple thing,
That's correct.
because in order to get out, it's not easy. It has to be voted on.
No, we aren't talking about getting out of the district.
No, I know, but
That's a
I mean,
different
what you're
topic.
just talking about now. So, and for me, our people are educated right now to do the dual work. They've been doing it for years. I know it's going to be simpler, but there is going to be more contamination. You cannot help that with the contamination when it is all in one. So I think, I know that you would really like to have single stream. I think you've made that pretty clear as we have talked. So I guess what I would like to do is to leave it to hear what your thoughts are, because what we have to do, I found out that I need to let them know by November the 12th what our decision is.
Actually, I'm going to be pushing to have that date pushed back because
That is pretty short.
we are the first town that is doing this because the letters to the other towns haven't even gone out
I
yet.
know, we're
They're going out
special.
tomorrow.
Oh, they'll get that the 11th.
So there's no way that all of our towns can make a decision by the 12th.
Right, well, that's what was in here, so.
What would be most beneficial for our town?
The dual stream.
Sounds like it to me.
I don't know. The dual stream might be there unless the town of Brattleboro decides to leave the district because they want to go single stream.
Well, see, there
See,
again, we
that's
can't.
the politics that's in play here.
But do they not have to also get a vote from all the members to leave the
Yes.
district?
They would have to go through that process,
Right.
absolutely.
Which could take us a while.
Right,
So if
But,
Brattleboro wants to do single stream,
Brattleboro is being
Then we'll get-
given huge incentives to go single stream. Why? Because single stream is beneficial to the collector.
right.
We are, the collector in this case is willing to give Brattleboro a huge discount because they're gonna save money on the collection of single stream.
Gotcha.
So Brattleboro is being enticed to accept single stream. And if they accept single stream, the rest of the district probably has to accept single stream because our budget would be unworkable without their tonnage.
so they would have to put up our assessment. If Brattleboro would go single stream, the assessment would have to go up.
Our assessment would go down, or either if we stayed in dual stream, probably our assessment would go up, or if the district stopped, district would probably not continue recycling or doing the recycling operations if Brattleboro were to pull their recycling.
So let me ask another question. This has come up, and you brought this up in the past too. The options for disposal of trash and recyclables seem to be slimming down. I mean, we're sending garbage to China, in some little island off
Actually,
China.
China's not accepting it
Oh,
anymore.
they stopped
Yeah,
accepting
they
it. But my point is, these places are drying up. The end product, if we take a look, okay, there's just no place else to put it. Is it gonna be more complicated for us if we are doing single stream or dual stream when those piles fill up?
I guess
I
I'm
don't know if we know
not
that
quite
answer.
sure the question.
Well, the question is, ultimately, this stuff has to go somewhere. When that location stops accepting it.
But that's gonna happen for both.
So what's
whether
what's
it's
happening
single-
now?
first, though?
What's happening now is the commodity prices are going way down.
Right.
Yeah. So the recycling thing is taking a hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
Where the
that's-
trash is still going.
We're taking a loss.
No money.
But that's for
Yeah.
both single stream and dual stream. If they don't want our plastics, they're not gonna want it because Rutland actually separates it out.
Yeah, once it gets there.
Yeah, once it
Yeah.
gets there.
So we're just talking about
So-
when it gets separated.
Yeah, right, we're already doing the separation.
Yeah,
Rutland does the separation now for the single stream, so.
but ultimately, it's
still
gets
this.
separated and it's gotta go
Exactly.
to some other location.
Right.
One of those doors closes, which one
So would it
closes
be
first?
better if we waited until we? till-
Well, I would wait at least for one more meeting.
Okay,
One thing I did want to point out, Judy is not aware of this because she wouldn't be. If the district does go out of the recycling operation, chances are it would take its containers and make them available to the district towns right now who want to continue on their own. So we might have the ability to use our 40-yard containers. We might be able to continue to use our 40-yard containers.
Use or purchase?
Use, they would be just
Right.
given to the towns.
Oh, okay.
But would Triple T pick those up? Would
Oh,
they
sure.
be capable of picking them up if they pick
Sure.
up only 30s now?
You know, they only own 30s, that's the reason they would offer them.
Oh, okay.
They don't own 40s. We bought the 40s to save on trucking. So if we were to be given the 40s by the district, then Triple T has the capability of picking those up.
now Wyndham Solid Waste decides not to do any, to close down or whatever.
No.
That's
There are a lot of
still-
districts, this district is the only district that has their own MRF,
Murph stands for,
manufacturing, recycling, or, I'm not quite sure.
I know.
What it is.
I know, because I didn't know
Yeah, what it is it's materials reclaiming facility or something like that.
okay.
Oh,
But
well,
you said
that
that
didn't.
the district might just,
Get out.
No, the district would not get out of it.
what would they get out of it, what would they stay in?
They would get out of the recycling business, they would still do hazardous waste collection, they would still do the
Education.
convenience center, they would still do the education, they would still do our SWIP, they would still be leasing land to the solar company and providing those discounts to the,
Our SWIP?
a SWIP is a document we have to submit to the state.
Oh, okay.
Every town has to submit one. If you don't belong to a district, you have to submit it on your own. It's a materials plan.
Okay.
It's their own plan. So there are a lot of things that the district still does. The district is ramping up to do composting. Hopefully the point will happen that we'll have compost being here to be, that the district will.
Yeah, and I called Triple T about that, and they told me they would not come and get our composting because it's too far for them to travel.
That's correct. So
So-
the district would probably set up that
Yeah.
kind of operation.
So-
Because the district is a municipally oriented,
Yeah.
So if the district gets out of the recycling, they would still do, Triple T does our takes our compactor,
Yeah,
so we'd still
So that-
have that.
that's still in there.
Triple T has always done that.
That- Right.
That's the middle,
That's the middle, right,
one.
that
the
stays in there.
Compactor, trash, and trucking.
So then what does the town have to do for their recycling?
Was time to do, it has to contract with Triple T or anyone
Or
else.
anyone else,
Right.
okay?
We could put out an RFP, for example, and
Right.
invite others.
And we'd still have to belong, if we chose to belong to the Wyndham Solid Waste, with a very high assessment fee?
Well, their assessment fee would go down
Well, about half.
to
is
about
what I-
$7,500.
Yeah.
But this all hinges on what Brattleboro's gonna do.
A lot of it does.
Why don't they just do it then?
Why don't they? Because up to now, they've been supporters of the district. They don't want to hurt the district. So they've been holding back on doing anything. They're asking the district, that last year at their board meeting, for their budget meeting, they asked the district to look very carefully at what they're offering because they're very concerned that their assessment is too high.
Right.
That's what led to this no MRF budget. If we just sit and do nothing, Brattleboro is being almost,
Well,
asked.
I don't see that we're not sitting doing nothing. The fact is that we're making a decision, hopefully, that other people would be making too. For example, if we decide to go dual stream and 9/10ths of this group here makes that's making that decision. Brattleboro either stays or goes.
Well,
Would it impact Brattleboro even if all the other small municipalities went dual stream?
Or stayed.
Brattleboro's still so big and it's like.
if Brattleboro pulled their tonnage, they have about probably a third of the tonnage of the district. If they pull a third of the tonnage, that means that we don't have enough tonnage to operate. Part of the reason.
We may be getting it for New Hampshire, so, you know.
Yeah, but that, you don't know how much though.
What?
You
No,
guys don't know how much from New
No.
Hampshire.
no, we don't.
We have an idea, but that's.
You don't seem to
We're doing test loads right now.
Right, and you don't seem
We don't have any-
overexcited that
any
we're gonna
concrete-
get a lot of recyclables from that.
Well, see, for example, one of the things they gotta determine is, does this paper come in clean enough not to have to sort?
Okay.
If it has to be sorted, then it costs money to sort. If it doesn't have to be sorted, it can be baled right up. You know, so these are the things that are being looked at right now. So I guess what I'm saying is it's a little bit too early to make a decision. But this is definitely something that we need to, we need to
Yeah,
be
we
thinking
have to,
about.
we really have to make a decision, because we have to tell them, because they're going to tally what all of these towns are feeling about what they want to do. And if we make a decision, let's say we decide to go single stream and the rest make, the majority make double, then we're still, we would either stay in or with the dual stream or get out of the whole project.
Oh, so the question now is, you just said that we need to make a decision.
But not
Yeah.
today.
You're saying there's no rush on the decision.
Not yet.
So let's define which decision we have to make.
Yeah.
At the moment, this is mostly informative.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Can we wait till the end of the month?
Yeah, I should point out
When-
there are towns like us that are transfer station towns. We're the ones that whose budgets are probably gonna go up. There are other towns who are not transfer station towns. Their private sector is now required to pick up their recycling. They may choose, because they're gonna save as well, their budgets are gonna go down. If you're one of these towns like Newfane or Putney or Guilford, if your assessment's gonna go down and you're gonna vote for this perhaps, because you're not gonna have to pick up that cost of that service because you're not required to. Because you don't collect it at a transfer station. So those are the towns, for example, that are likely to vote in favor of something like that. So those are the things that are a little bit different than a town like ours, which is a transfer station.
Yeah, but that's really what Peter said, that really, as it is now, we benefit from being a small town. We benefit from that.
We benefit from the union of all of us working together.
Gotcha.
So if we can wait until the end of November,
I don't think it would be the end of November,
I mean, but somewhere.
somewhere in November, maybe
Because
the
you said
first
the other
meeting in
folks haven't
November.
even gotten theirs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as this thing's progressed, we can always have a meeting.
What was
Were you
that?
going to try to push for a later date for us to commit? or-
What I'm gonna do is try to push that we present to the towns both budgets during the month of November, have the district come out and talk to each one of the select boards, and then we would make our decision on how you think we should vote as a town.
Okay. Well, that makes sense. To see what they have to
So,
say.
in other words, I didn't have to go through all of this rigmarole?
I think you did, because
This I have, now it makes sense. I can
It's
understand
making
the
sense.
I think you have to, because
Yeah.
now I know what the answer, what the impact of Jamaica is.
Right. Which
I
is
didn't-
not a whole lot.
I didn't know what the impact of Jamaica was
No, this
until,
information is very helpful.
Well, there's another piece to this too, and I'm not gonna be here in November, but somebody remembered this at the time. The compacted trash and trucking of 20,000, at this point, it's gonna go down because we're not sending trash out as fast. So that number's going to go down,
Right, for this next year.
yeah, for the next calendar
This-
year.
this
The
calendar
other
year.
piece of it is, and I think you said it very well, implied it, as soon as, if somebody goes to single stream, the supervision, the supervision,
Yeah.
the sifting of the stuff is
Right.
gonna drop. And it's gonna be contaminated city,
Yes.
as opposed to now we have people separating things for us, continues to maintain these numbers and lower them. But if you were to go single stream, it's a free-for-all. And
Well,
everything
no,
gets
no,
up.
that's not correct. We would still have a bin that would collect paper,
Right.
would collect plastic,
Yeah,
and we would still have somebody there, our attendant would still be there watching to make sure that only paper, plastic, and tin goes in
so then how
there.
does that become single stream?
Because it goes into one box
One-
instead of two.
yeah, one in.
Right now, we have two
It's
boxes.
separate.
Yeah.
Right.
What would happen is we would still have two boxes, but we would fill up one at a time.
So we're gonna
But
then
then-
say that everything except paper and plastic has to be in yellow bags?
No,
No.
No, no,
I'm
it's
missing a piece of
recyclables.
this.
That's
nothing
recyclables.
changes
Yeah,
at the transfer station. The only difference is instead of having to walk to two containers,
Yeah.
you only have to walk to one.
Because everything goes in, all the
All the
recyclables goes in
recyclables.
one container.
The same recyclables that you recycle now
Yeah.
would go into that one container.
That's however.
Oh, you're talking about
that's a
paper and
decision.
plastic?
Yes.
Paper and
Right.
plastic,
Yeah.
instead of paper going here
Gotcha.
and plastic
What's-
going here.
All right, so that is the consolidation from dual to single, as opposed to
Right.
trash and recycling.
Right.
No, no.
There's nothing to do with trash.
the problem is that there's still the opportunity to throw, when you're throwing a whole bunch into one, that there is more contamination.
Yeah, I
That
see.
people aren't going to say, well, yeah,
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen because we have an attendant who's.
yes, we
It
do
is,
have a
They
good,
had some night things.
but that's
in
not
the
true
garbage.
for all the
Right.
trees.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Get rid of garbage and conspire to get rid of it, or purposely get rid of trash. You would have to put it inside cardboard boxes
Yeah,
and with Mark standing there.
yeah.
Which, I'm sure you do, I
I
guess.
mean, a little bit must get in there, just,
Yeah.
Yeah,
From my
there is. I mean,
I mean, my recycle
actually,
is,
he has told me that after a day or so, he will look inside of a container and pick out stuff that has gotten past
Right.
him, and then he puts it into the compactor. So he's actually, in a sense, kind of sifting
Yeah.
through the work while, that's happening now.
I guess my sense of that is that we've got our community doing this with
Right.
the yellow bags and the dual stream, and it's going pretty well.
Yes,
I guess it's only been doing this for 6 months now, 5 or 6 months. I'm kind of reluctant to change it.
I know.
It's working well for us, we're saving money,
That's
people
where
are
I'm at
cooperating,
too.
and everybody's kind of gotten in the swing of things.
Yeah.
Okay, so we
But-
can think
but I don't
about
think the
work,
change-
think about it.
Yeah, I don't think the change is what you're talking about, is substantial.
Yeah.
I
There's
don't
no
need
change.
that.
I mean, the only change is you don't have to go two places, you only have to go one.
Well, yeah, and my people.
And the only change is you can keep one container in your house as opposed to two containers.
Understand that we're over, my brain was hearing 1 and 2, 1 and 2, but it's really 3 and 2. Because the third one is the garbage, and, I mean, the first one's the garbage, then I got 2. So, 2 to 1 is just recyclable, I still have to make a trip to the other one.
Correct.
So I'm still gonna have, so instead of having 3 containers, which is what I have in my house, I would only have 2. Anyhow, goes on.
The whole world knows you got 3 containers.
I don't know, the point is, when you were saying dual stream, I think of dual, but it's really triple stream.
Oh, good lord, okay.
Now
So
I
we'll
get it.
think about it.
Now I get it. I understand that, you've clarified it clearly.
Do you have anything else, Lou?
No.
Judy?
Yes, if it's not is it my
It's your
turn?
turn. It is.
Okay. All right, more about transfer station. Remember I brought up the new procedures and rules, and we, according to Paul Gillies, we have to ratify I think this is it. I think this is
Oh,
mine.
is there
You
2
have-
there?
You have one? Oh, did one not print?
No, there goes, no, he's got
Okay.
it. Okay.
Okay. We have to ratify this. And I printed it without changing originally my print, to take an F out of sheriff, if you will notice. And then after I finished my second batch with the sheriff being written properly, I happened to read another sentence. And there sat a sheriff with 2 Fs. So I hope you'll accept this with the changes minus that one, because I didn't want to waste any more paper printing. But this is what we already discussed.
Right.
And so we just need to ratify it with the one misspelled word. And I gave each one of you a copy of this same thing.
Which reminds me, Paul, I brought those vests.
Oh, yes, would you get that?
They're in
for
my
me?
car.
Oh,
So I'll bring them,
great.
I'll get them when we're done.
Okay, then I'll take them up, I'll take,
Or, well, one of them, yeah.
That would be great.
Is that in here? The
Yes,
safety of the vests?
yeah, I thought I put it in.
Yep, it's on number 11.
Oh, and with the safety vest,
Yeah.
okay.
I make a motion that do we have to use the word ratify, or that we accept the
Accept, yeah.
amended procedures and rules for Jamaica Transfer Station attendant sheet?
What,
What would you call
we've
it?
never had one before, so we're
Oh.
really not amending
I
this.
don't, okay,
What was the question?
we've never had one.
No, we've never had
Okay.
one of these before.
What do you- what do you
This
call it?
actually enhances the, it kind of enhances, is the best word, the attendance,
Duties on
Duties.
the,
yeah.
on the personnel.
I can't think
I
of
think
Well, this is
I
like
think
a
some of
document.
these used to be in the personnel or
Personnel
private
policy.
personnel.
That's
policy
where
Yeah.
we got it from.
For attendant,
For
Right,
the attendant.
yeah, for the
Okay.
attendant.
So this
So
sort
they
of,
did
And
somewhat
they-
exist before.
Yeah, we have done, yeah,
Some of
we
these are
talked
in there.
about them
Right.
We'll just
already,
say
so this is
codifies,
enhancing it.
codifies.
So is this like a document, or is this policy, or,
Yeah, it's more of a procedures and rules.
okay, someone else can make that motion.
I'm gonna wait because she's gonna ask for a discussion. I have a question before we get to the motion yet. So, are you withdrawing your motion?
Well, I'm just not sure how to word it.
all right, I'll move that we accept the procedures and rules for Jamaica Transfer Station attendant.
okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes. Number 8. At the end of each day, any waste left on the compact. I thought we decided to do it at the end of the week to give people time to pick up any usable recyclables or usable items.
But I
Rather
have
than
to
the end of
define
the
the
day.
word waste.
At the end of each day, any
Yes, I
waste
did.
left. Yeah, and I thought when we talked about it was, there's things that are dropped off.
I thought we decided to stay with the day
Yeah,
in
we
the policy, but give a little bit of flexibility in the
Right.
interpretation.
In that case, I'll absolutely vote against anything that we expect to violate. If we say at the end of each day, any waste left in the compactor, but we're saying, no, but we're gonna give fuzzy zones, then I'll vote against it entirely. If we don't mean it, let's not say it.
Rather than get an alternative?
Yeah, week, change the day to week. Because I thought we agreed on that, we had this discussion.
No, we did not agree on
No,
that.
okay, we didn't agree with it.
I thought what we decided was that we wouldn't necessarily be at every day at the very end. If somebody may show up at the end of the day, we sort of give it a couple of days, maybe.
I just don't wanna put anything on.
Well, why don't we just say the end of the week?
Because then we'd have to change the document.
Well, we could just put in the word, just,
Yeah,
We
end of
could
the day,
amend
end
it
of the
before
week.
we approve it.
Yeah. The idea there is,
Yeah, at
is
the
like
end
you
of
say,
each
somebody
week.
brings in the box of dishes that we had in here.
Will this delay it from happening?
I don't think so.
No, we can amend it.
no,
right
we're
now.
just gonna change.
Yeah.
we're just gonna, the motion's gonna stay with the change of day of the week, that's
Okay.
all. Is that okay?
Yes, that works for me.
Okay, so this is during discussion, so, the motion was made, it was seconded, and the only thing we changed was week, so I think we're okay there.
Do we need to re-motion it, or just change the motion to as changed, as amended? No.
Well, either that, or we could just formally amend it before we vote on it.
Yeah.
All right, then I guess I'll move that we amend number 8 to say week instead of day.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Judy?
Oh, we haven't voted on
What?
we just voted on the amendment, we haven't voted on the,
Oh.
Oh, I thought we, oh.
no, we just voted on the amendment.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Okay,
now we
well,
have
you
to vote on
made,
the whole document.
you made a motion to vote on the whole document.
No, I made a motion to amend the document.
But you made a motion to first.
That, right, but that vote, that hasn't been voted on.
That's true.
Now we,
That's right, we haven't.
We only voted on
That's
the
right, because that was discussion, okay. So now we need,
On the
All in
document
favor of the
itself.
document
okay,
as
that would
as
be
amended.
correction.
as amended, yep.
Doesn't matter, just vote.
Aye.
Aye.
Go ahead. It's too, you keep too confusing.
I got it.
And to Bobby.
Too confusing. Paul?
Yes, yeah, I do have a couple of little quick things. Quick thing number one is, I mentioned to some of you already, and I discussed it with Judy, that we are now, we're going to relocate the bulletin board from the post office, now that he's redone the post office outside. We're gonna have it go to the transfer station, where it will be accessible to just about everybody who uses the transfer station, so that we can post official town documents and stuff. It's got a door, it's protected. And Judy and I were talking about it today, and it sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
Are we gonna still post things at the post
It's
office?
inside the post office, there's a little post outside.
We're
You
gonna,
can't
we're
do
gonna
it
continue to
outside.
use the post office as a.
Yes, but those will be the
Yeah.
third location. So we have one here, one at the post office, and the third one will be at the transfer station. But my sense is most people hit the transfer station, not most people at the
I mean,
post office.
anything we post in 3 places. I don't care if it's posted on Joe Blow's light post. It's
Okay,
gonna be a public place, it's a public place. So we do have 3 public
Yeah.
places to post it.
The third one being here.
this is number one.
This one
Well,
here,
yeah, one of
Dale,
the three.
the store, and then I'll put one, I used to go to the post office and I'll just go up there.
Okay.
But this gives us a place, we have our own, we don't have to compete with everything else at the stores thing.
Yeah,
But
because
this
it
is an
gets
official place
lost
to
on
put
that
it
one.
for official business, yeah. Anyway, number 2, just information only, Keith and Lexa and I have been looking into hiring someone to plow our sidewalks. We have a couple of candidates.
Good.
We think that both of them, at least one of them's got a real good reputation, has worked with Lex in the past, has got a good working reputation now. There's one other who's on the radar, we're going to interview them, and we'll have an answer by the end of this week.
Did you get in touch with them to come?
So I had another conversation with the first person today, and
Okay.
apparently the phone number that was given for the second person to give me was my office number, and he called it on Sundays. So I suggested I gave him my cell phone,
Okay.
so that with any luck at all, they'll call me this week on my cell phone.
Okay, yeah, have them come in so that we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, have them come in, we've got to get a job description and that sort of stuff. Yeah, be fine.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Anything?
I don't think so.
Okay, don't have anything either. So need a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second?
Second.
Nobody wants to leave? Any further discussion? All in favor? None, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I got it.